The movie begins with a scene showing a school in Thailand. Then, in the next scene is seen the students are watching a match held by their school, and the narrator explains the ranking of students in the school. Rank 5 is the caste for the bully. Students in this rank are a group of students who like to annoy other students. Rank 4 is a collection of bookworms. Rank 3 are school athletes. Rank 2 is a group of popular students at school. While the first rank, the highest rank, is a student named Fame. Fame being ranked first is not without reason. He is a multi-talented student who is popular at school. While the main character of this film is Pong, who is in the lowest rank. When he was a helper on the sidelines for the bullies playing ball, Pong saw his crush named Mink. Suddenly the ball went off the field and fell near her. Mink, who saw Pong, took the ball and kicked the ball toward him, but he didn't catch the ball. He just stood still, staring at her. The scene switches to Pong's bedroom at night. He is drawing a happy incident with Mink that he experienced at school. His face smiled happily until he fell asleep. The next morning, Pong, who woke up late, immediately rushed to school. After arriving at school, he directly collected the bully's workbook in the teacher's room and went to the field to receive punishment for being late for school. The bully behind Pong checked the book in Pong's bag. It turned out that the book he had collected in the teacher's room was not the bully's assignment book but his drawing book. Pong finally ran back to the teacher's room to exchange the book. Unfortunately, the pile of assignment books has been taken by Mink's class for inspection. The students in her class saw the contents of Pong's picture book and then handed it to her. Then, they gathered to see the story in the book. Pong tried to prevent it, but he failed. In the next scene, the film depicts the story's animation in Pong's book when Mink kicks a ball, and the skirt she wears reveals. The ball hit his face, and it was seen that Pong blushed at the sight. After that, Mink gave her polka dot underwear to him. Just when the scene shows Pong taking the underwear, the scene returns to the human world. He tripped over a table when all the students who had read his picture books looked at him. Because of the picture, Pong is considered a pervert, and Mink throws the book at him. Then, he was very frustrated and ran out of the classroom, lamenting his fate of not being able to approach Mink again. Soon afterward, the scene continues when Pong gets a call informing him that someone has reproduced his drawing so that all students in the school know the story he drew. Embarrassed, Pong tried to cover his face when he met other students. His close friend tells him that the student who gave his book to Mink is Mei Hu. She is Mink's classmate. Knowing this, Pong tries to meet Mei in the school toilet. He was annoyed and then held her hand. But suddenly, he was electrocuted and thrown. Because of that, Mei got panicked and rushed out of the toilet. From this incident, a photo of Fame fell from her bag. It turned out that she was the one who took Fame's photo from the school wall magazine. In the next scene, Pong is inspired to make the comic Electric Girl, inspired by what happened with Mei. He reproduces and distributes his work to schools because he wants to take revenge on her. Knowing that, Mei was trying to find Pong. When she meets him, he asks for the electroshock device that Mei is using. However, she tries not to bring it up and decides to leave. But Pong threatens her by spreading info that she is interested in Fame. Hearing that, Mei immediately tried to prevent Pong. At the same time, Pong heard her watch beep. A curious Pong finally grabbed her hand, and he was electrocuted again and thrown. Mei, increasingly panicked, tried to stop the nearby photocopy machine. However, she damaged the machine after touching it. Shortly after, she left with a copy of Pong's comic. Because of that incident, he was silent and tried to process what was happening. Mei, who had been at home, told her family what she had experienced at school. It turns out that this is not the first time this has happened. The scene switches to Mei's past. It shows her childhood girl trying to make ice cream in the refrigerator and lick it. Her tongue was stuck, and she had difficulty removing it. Since Mei already had electric power, she grabbed the refrigerator and set it on fire. Not only that, another scene shows that Mei gave her mother an electric shock while drying her hair using a hairdryer, and damaged the toaster she touched. Because of this, her father gave her a pulse oximeter which she wore on her wrist. Her father advised her to stay away from people when the device showed 120. In another scene, Mei, trying to help her friends in fishing, reveals her abilities. She electrocuted all the fish to death. Seeing that, her friend is annoyed to see Mei. Because they know about her abilities, they start to avoid her and make fun of her. When little Mei complained to her parents, her father said she should change schools while still smiling to comfort her daughter. In another scene, Mei is seen praying at a temple with her teacher and friends. Her teacher asked her to hold her friend in front of her. When Mei was about to hold her friends, suddenly a lizard fell on her friend's head. She was shocked and triggered it to emit electricity. Everyone who was there was electrocuted by Mei. The scene switches when Mei, a teenager, opens her wardrobe filled with school uniforms. She had changed schools very often if anyone found out about her powers. The next day at school, Mei picks up a form to transfer schools. She went to a place where Fame was. She is sad because she has to change schools. Then, she said goodbye to Fame. Mei limped out of place and saw Pong collecting works from other students. Soon after, Pong burned his work. Seeing Pong's attitude, Mei gave up her intention to change schools and burned the formula. Not only that, but he also returned Fame's photo to Mei. When he asks her about Mink, who is leaving, they are both shocked because the fire from the trash bin where Pong burned his work is getting bigger. Then, May ran for the fire extinguisher. After that, she returned and extinguished the fire. At the same time, her heart rate monitor beeped. In the end, she explains her secret to Pong. On the next day, May was seen watching Fame playing soccer. Fame tried to approach and talk to her when the ball headed towards her. A nervous May knows she can bring out her power, so she runs away from him. However, Fame seemed to want to talk to her and chased after her. When she is cornered, May tries to get him away. Then, he finally asks if she wants to join the running group. Soon after May handed over the ball she was carrying, Fame left her. Elsewhere, Pong visits Mink, who is bedridden in the school health unit due to illness. He brings food for her. The bullies, who saw what Pong did, start making fun of him. Mink, who felt embarrassed, threw away the food he had brought. In the evening, Pong was sad because of the previous incident. Afterward, he came to May's house. He asked May to shock him with electricity until he passed out. He was already lying on the operating chair when he opened his eyes. He panicked until May appeared at the bedroom door. After that, Pong had dinner with May's family and then washed the dishes. Pong and May also tell each other about Mink and Fame. May said that Mink was having problems in her cheerleader group. She also says that Fame had invited her to join her running group. The scene switches when May is taking a shower and imagines Fame hugging her. She blushed with embarrassment, triggering her body to emit electricity and kill the mosquito that was about to bite her. On the next day, in the school, May meets Fame and says she agrees to be a runner on his team. Then, she trains with Fame and his team. Because the baton is made of iron and May doesn't want to get Fame electrocuted, she asks to be the last runner. The runner who filled the position was angry and asked to compete. The running match between May and the runner begins. The runner tried to cheat in the middle of the match by biting her. Because of that, she was shocked and made the runner electrocuted and fell. Elsewhere, Pong has learned of the problems Mink and her cheerleading group face. The problem is that students in grade 8 don't want to come to practice. He finally went to the class. In front of the class, he saw a teacher in front of the classroom door, and the teacher was reluctant to enter the classroom. Curiosity, Pong entered the classroom. As it turned out, the class was not a collection of naughty students. However, on the contrary, they are students who are obsessed with medical science, so they choose to continue studying these subjects and ignore other subjects or other activities. Pong was surprised too. After that, Pong planned something. He took a picture book and asked his friend to be his picture model. Because his drawing wasn't finished, Pong and May continued it at his house. Pong asked May to be the model of his muse. After arriving at his room, May saw that the walls of his room were full of his drawings. She also read his comic series about Mink. Seeing the comic series, she told him to give it to Mink. Unfortunately, Pong refused. After that, they both joked about Fame. On the next day, Pong uses his drawing as a negotiation tool with Class 8 so that they come and join the cheerleading team. However, all of the group asked Pong not only to do art classwork but all the other subjects they didn't like. Hearing that, he agreed to do the assignments for the class with May. In another scene, Fame is seen taking a bath at school. Afterward, a student who likes him steals his suit. As it turned out, the student was a Fame's running group member. This theft was caught by his fans. They then took the thief to the back of the school and punished him until he passed out. In the next scene, the relay team qualification starts. Pong looked happy because grade 8 students came to the field and sat in the audience seats. Turns out, they didn't come as cheerleaders. They just sit in the audience and read books there. Mink, as the cheerleading team leader, was surprised by them. On the other hand, Fame's fans cheered as he took off his jacket. Fame team members who were previously punished by his fans are seen wearing neck braces and are fascinated by Fame. However, he was frightened when one of the students punished him by giving a warning gesture to him. Because of that, he runs. Not long after, the relay race began. The baton began to change positions. When it starts, Fame holds the stick and runs toward May as the last runner. May, mesmerized by his good looks, unconsciously made her heart beat faster. Not wanting to get Fame electrocuted, May didn't want to accept a wand either. Suddenly, she kicked the stick in Fame's hand and tried to catch it. Unfortunately, before she caught it, the stick hit her face until her nose bled. The race was finally won by May's group. While May, who had finished the match, ran off the field to the locker room. Pong saw this and ran after her to give her a bloody nose swab. From then on, he realized that he had a crush on May. Soon after, the scene continues when May looks at her match photos in the school wall magazine. When she was about to take a photo of herself that looked unattractive, Fame suddenly came and asked her to run together on Sunday. Of course, May was very happy to hear that. On the other hand, Pong, who knows that May will run together with Fame, tries to help her by bringing various insulating items that can prevent her from stinging Fame. Besides that, Pong also encouraged her to be more confident to meet Fame. At that moment, he realized that he really liked May. After that, Pong was seen carrying a pile of Mink comic series from his house. The scene changes when Fame goes with May to the running field on a motorbike. She tried to keep her from touching him. Meanwhile, Pong gave his comic series to Mink with the help of a grade 8 student. Seeing that, Mink seemed confused by what she received and tried to look around who had given her the comic series. Back to May's scene, she and Fame are warming up before running. At that time, he was interested in May's heart rate meter. Then, she gives it to him. Fame, who wore the device, continued to warm up to see how the device worked. Suddenly, the tool slipped from his arm and was thrown at the lawnmower in the field. Because of that, May's heartbeat device was destroyed after being run over by the lawnmower. After that, May tried to find various conductor objects that she could use to know when the electricity in her body appeared. Besides that, she tried to control her strength by counting. Turned out, this method was successful, so May can now fully control her power. At school, Pong is approached by Mink. She knew that the comic she received was from him. Pong then said that he liked her. However, Mink asks him not to draw it again and returns the comic to him. After she left him, the group that used to bully Pong approached and tried to mock him. At the same time, Pong says that he doesn't feel bad after being rejected by Mink. Pong, who was not afraid of the bully, called him the bald boy. This made the group of bullies punish him. In the next scene, May and Fame are still in the field. They were caught in the heavy rain. After that, Mink came to bring an umbrella for them. May refuses when Fame tells her to go because she fears her electric power will harm him. Finally, Fame decided to wait with May. He then expressed his love for her, making her heart beat faster. Suddenly, Fame was electrocuted by her and sent through the rainwater. May, who saw this, felt sad and left him. May, who still felt sad about what happened with Fame, locked herself in her room. Pong finds out about this and tries to persuade her to leave the room, but his attempts fail. Finally, Pong waited for her in front of the room and started to draw a comic about May and Fame. Because of his comic, May opened the door and chatted with him. On the next day, when preparing for the final relay, Mink took May to a place behind the school. Mink tries to frame May so that she is punished by Fame's fans because she is considered to have been too close to him. Behind the school, May began to be cornered by Fame's fans. Suddenly Pong came by, spraying them with a fire extinguisher, and asked her to run. After that, Pong was arrested by the group. When Pong is about to be attacked, Fame comes to help. Seeing Fame, the group was unable to move. Mink, who came with him, explained that she liked him, so she framed May. Fame's fans were furious after hearing Mink's explanation and prepared to beat her up. However, Fame tries to protect Mink, making him hit by his fans. The fans screamed hysterically after finding out that they had hit him. He then asked his fans to give him the freedom to choose the woman he liked. Finally, they came to their senses. Not long after, the embarrassed Mink chose to leave the place. At first, Fame tried to catch up with her. However, this was prevented by Pong. Pong told Fame to talk to May. After that, Pong left the place to chase Mink. Pong, who has caught up with Mink, explains that everything May does is not for Fame. May really like what she does. On the other hand, May told Fame about her strength. Hearing that, he seems to accept her situation and says that if their team wins the match, he wants her to be his girlfriend. The scene continues as May tells him that she agrees to Fame's request if their team wins the relay race. Knowing that, Pong felt sad, but he tried not to show it in front of her and kept encouraging her. On the day of the relay race's final match, all the students gathered on the field. Meanwhile, Pong is still in his room and has no intention of coming to May's match. He only spends his time drawing the girl he likes. Suddenly, Pong changed his mind. He decides to come to May's match and confess his love. He asked her not to win the match. May, who was indecisive, stopped in the middle of the match. However, she finally chose to continue and won the match. The students cheered while Pong was sad. The scene switches when the winner's medal is distributed. There, May asks Fame to change the winning prize so that she does not become his girlfriend. May said if she wanted Fame to treat her food. Fame, who heard her request, knew that she liked Pong. Fame agreed to change the winning prize and rubbed her head. In the next scene, all students, including Pong and May, are seen holding hands. Pong is surprised that she can control her ability to count. However, after he said that May was not Mayhu but May Pong, her power suddenly shocked all the students. Finally, the film ends with the scene of the students falling to the ground after being electrocuted. Pong said that he should be worried because he has a girlfriend who has electric powers. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that someone who sincerely loves us will accept our strengths and weaknesses. Also, never hide your feelings. Start being honest and accept those feelings so you won't regret it later.